So my name is Moishe, and I'm a shepherd, not a prophet, from Bethlehem. And I am of the tribe of David, the tribe of Judah, and a descendant of Abraham. I'm a shepherd, not a prophet. I didn't get much sleep last night. Can any of you relate to that? Asleep, we're all upset, bleating to beat the band all night long. But it's no small wonder with all the commotion going on around here these days. Strangers everywhere, coming, going. You'd think they were giving away something free. But au contraire, mon frère. It's actually the opposite. Caesar Augustus, sitting up in his palace in Rome, decided he's going to take a census of the entire Roman world in order to extract more taxes, of course. And his bureaucrats decided the best way to carry that thing out was to have all of us Israelites who are living, settled in towns all across our country, to return to our tribal homeland that was allotted to us by Moses and go and register there. So Israelites are coming and going and crisscrossing this country to go and register so we can pay more taxes. So you can imagine the people aren't real happy about all this traveling they're having to do. And Bethlehem, supposed to be a quiet place. And I'll tell you what, I'll be happy when these visitors are all, well, I guess they're actually relatives if you go back far enough, but I'll be happy when all these visitors just finish up what they're doing and get back home. Because I like Bethlehem when it's quiet. Jerusalem, may the Lord bless her ramparts and her glory never diminish, is a full 5 miles away, and that's just fine with me. Because I like it quiet. I like Bethlehem. I was born here. My dad was born here. My grandpa was born here. King David was born here. And he was anointed king here in Bethlehem, my Bethlehem. And David, he was a good king. I sure wish we had a good king now. You know how it is when you're sick? You just get kind of tired of being sick. And you just long to feel better again. Our nation has been sick for as long as I can remember. King Herod, I don't even like using the word king to describe him. He's a snake. He is wicked. He is deceitful. He is a snake. And I'm a shepherd, and I know snakes. He even killed his own wife. He killed his own children. What kind of a man, I ask you, would kill his own family? King Herod would, because it accomplished his devious, wicked purposes, whatever they are. Yet, this wicked man bears authority over Israel, over Judah, over Jerusalem, over my Bethlehem. Sometimes I kind of lose hope in our country. Can any of you relate to that? Now, my name is Moishe, from the line of David, from the tribe of Judah, descended from Abraham. And I'm a shepherd, not a prophet. Now, I'm not a shepherd because I'm a little dull. I'm a shepherd because I want to be. Because I love being out in the hills around Jerusalem. I love working with my hands. I love watching over my sheep personally. I'm a shepherd, not a prophet. But I read Torah. I read Moses. I read the prophets. I read the writings. Because it's the Word of God. I don't always understand when I read. Can any of you relate to that? But I read. And sometimes I get a glimmer of hope that one day things in Israel are going to get better. A lot better. The prophet Isaiah, he's my favorite. He said this, "The Lord Himself will give you a sign." I'd love to see a sign. He said, "The virgin will be with child and will give birth to a son and will call him Emmanuel." Emmanuel means God with us. I'm not sure I understand that, but I believe it. And Isaiah said more. He said, "For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on His shoulders. And He will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the increase of His government and peace, there will be no end. He will reign on David's throne and over His kingdom, establishing and upholding it with righteousness and justice from that time on and forever. The zeal of the Lord Almighty will accomplish this." In the book of Psalms, Moses said himself, "Righteousness and justice are the foundation of God's throne. Love and faithfulness go before Him." I long for the day when that is true here. I long for the day when that is true here. When righteousness and justice are the foundation of the government. I can't wait for that day when it's here and not just there. The prophet Micah said about this ruler that's coming, he said that he would be born right here in Bethlehem. The prophet said, "But you, Bethlehem, though you are small among the clans of Judah," he could have left that part out about being small. "Out of you will come for me one who will be ruler over Israel, whose origins are from of old, from ancient times." That ruler from Bethlehem, from my Bethlehem. But where is He? Where is this child that Isaiah promised, that Micah said would be born in Bethlehem? This just and righteous ruler. Where is this ruler, this God with us, who will be so just and so righteous? It sounds like God Himself. Test my faith. Waiting. Some people doubt God, and I don't judge them, but I can't. I know that God parted the sea to let the Israelites pass through. I know that the walls of Jericho came crashing down when the people were obedient to march around it, do what God said. I know that fire fell from heaven to consume Elijah's sacrifice. I just get tired sometimes waiting for God's hand to move in my day, where I can see God's hand moving on behalf of His people. But I do not doubt His word. I believe His word, and I'm amazed at His works. You know, when I'm out with the flock at night and I look up at the stars, and I look to the north, and I look to the south, and I look to the east, and I look to the west. And every star in the heavens is just twinkling like a jewel. And it's like God made that. And when one of my ewes, that's a girl lamb, when one of my ewes has just had a little baby, and I've got that little lamb, kind of messy and kind of noisy, but I've got that little lamb in my arms, and I'm just looking at that little bundle of life. It's like God made this. Yeah, I can't doubt God. Whether I'm looking up or I'm looking down, I know there's a Creator, and He's good. And then there's my newest grandson, Zephaniah. I like to call him Zephy. Makes my daughter mad, but I still call him Zephy. But I digress. He is very handsome. They say he looks a lot like me. Isaiah describes the covenant God of Israel this way. He shall feed His flock like a shepherd. He shall gather the lambs in His arms, and He shall carry them in His bosom, and gently lead those that are with young. I try to do that as a shepherd. And it gives me hope, and it gives me confidence to know that God has that kind of a heart for His people. That God has a shepherd's heart for His people. That gives me hope and confidence. Things aren't so great in our country these days, but our God will take care of His sheep. And I'm going to take care of mine. My name is Moishe. I'm a descendant of David, of the tribe of Judah, from Abraham. And I'm a shepherd, not a prophet. I don't always understand the Scriptures, and I don't always understand God's ways. But I'm not going to stop believing in the living God And I'm not going to stop believing in His promise to send God with us. God with us. God with us in His time. In His time. He shall feed His flock like a shepherd, and He shall gather the lambs in His arms and carry them in His bosom, and shall gently